People always said Flight 777 was not a normal flight. Strange things had happened on it before, but no one could ever prove anything. Some passengers claimed they saw things that should not exist. Others said they heard voices when nobody was there. Airlines never talked about it. They only said, technical issues. One night, Flight 777 left Dubai for London. Everything seemed fine. The weather was clear, the plane was on time, and passengers were happy. Children laughed, families talked, and the crew served food. It felt like any other flight. But when the plane reached 35,000 feet over the Arabian Sea, things began to change. In business class, a young woman suddenly turned pale. She told a flight attendant. Someone whispered in my ear. I swear I felt it. The seat next to her was empty. The flight attendant smiled politely and said, "It must be your imagination." The woman nodded slowly, trying to believe that, but when she looked down at her food tray, her hands began to shake. With a finger in the condensation on the plate, someone had written, "Welcome back." At the same time, in economy class, an old man pointed out his window. "There's another plane outside, flying next to us," he whispered. Black, no lights, no markings. But when the flight attendant leaned to look, there was only darkness. Nothing there. Inside the cockpit, Captain Fawad and his co-pilot Imran were worried. The instruments were going crazy. One moment, they said the plane was 35,000 feet high. The next moment, only 10,000. The radio kept cutting out. Outside, the sky was empty. No stars, no other planes. Just silence. Then, suddenly, the entire plane went dark. For a few seconds, there were no lights, no sound, no power. Passengers screamed. In that total blackness, everyone saw them, shadows, tall, thin figures walking slowly down the aisle. They had no faces, no eyes, no features. Only moving shadows. The lights came back. The shadows were gone. People cried, some prayed, others just sat frozen in fear. Everything seemed normal again until a new passenger appeared. There were 216 passengers on the manifest. Now there was one more, a man who no one had seen board. He sat silently in a once empty seat. His head was slightly tilted. His eyes had no whites, only black holes. He stared at the passengers, unblinking. The captain decided to land immediately, but as he lowered the plane, something terrifying happened. The ground was gone. There was no earth, no city lights, no ocean, just endless black void beneath them. "Impossible," the captain muttered, sweat pouring down his face. He pulled the controls, but the plane didn't respond. The radar was empty. Navigation showed nothing. They were flying into nowhere. Then, every screen in the plane flickered. Words appeared in white. One sentence repeated again and again. "Flight 777 does not land." Panic exploded. People screamed, held each other, cried out to God. The plane shook violently. In the middle of it all, the strange man with the black eyes smiled slowly, as if he had been waiting for this moment. The next morning, news reports around the world repeated the same story. Flight 777 vanished during the night. No trace, no wreckage, no survivors. Some people believe Flight 777 never crashed. They say it is still out there, trapped in the sky, flying through endless darkness. And anyone unlucky enough to be on it will never come home.